lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels normal, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Welcome in, everybody, to Championship Night here from Phoenix in the GUNR4sR Xfinity Series. We have 4 drivers looking to bring home the championship. On the screen now, you kind of see Rupert Thompson rolling through as they start their qualifying laps. I'm Mike Damoni up in the booth. Pleasure to be here tonight. Joined with me is Shane Lake. Shane, man, how's it going?
Man, I am excited. 101 laps here at Phoenix to separate the top 4 in the championship. I'm ready to see how this pans out with these Xfinity Series cars. Taking that dog leg isn't going to be as extreme as what you would see with the Cup cars. So if you got this thing dialed in to take that, you're going to have a big advantage on everybody else here tonight.
Yeah, definitely, as we are looking at one of the championship contenders in Eric Shearer. He comes in trying to get a quick lap here. 27.60, good enough for 4th right there, and he cuts it off right there at the line. Right now, current championship contender Rupert Thomas is up at the top of the board with a 27.14. We got about 2.5 minutes left in this qualifying session. We'll see if anybody else gets on track. Looks like Nicholas Snyder, another championship contender, is rolling through here.
Yeah, and you can see he was able to get that thing to cut dead left coming through turns 3 and 4, so that's going to be key, is to get that car to cut going into the dog leg. And the lower you get, the more likely you are to either stay out of trouble or make some big moves, especially on restarts.
Yeah, we saw it throughout the Cup Series and Xfinity races over the past weekend. The drivers who were able to kind of take advantage of that and cut it just right were able to get a huge run on the rest of the field. We'll see if that's going to be something that comes through here, as we're still waiting to see if anybody else is going to take a qualifying lap. We have several other drivers here. I'm not sure they're going to jump in or not. But right now we have 5 drivers that have put down a qualifying lap. 4 of them are your championship contenders here in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, and right now with Rupert Thompson sitting up front, you know, that's where he's got to be. The thing about it is you don't need to worry about points here tonight. You don't need to worry about stage points. It's about out-finishing everybody else. This is literally your Game 7. You got to go out there and get the job done every single lap. And there's going to be a lot of strategy here, because with 3 sets of tires in the pits and only 70% fuel tank, you know, stage break at lap 25, could that be their only stop? Or could we possibly see them kind of split the second stage up and maybe just go 50 laps and go hard the final 25?
Yeah, I definitely think that's something that is going to be playing on everybody's mind, especially after that first pit stop, kind of see where the tire fall off kind of was, see how those tires were wearing in that first 25 laps. I mean, if they weren't too bad, maybe you push it a little bit further and maybe you try and make it to the end. But if that tire fall off becomes more of a catalyst there, you're going to want to come in maybe a little bit sooner and make that pit stop early and try and race your way to the finish there.
Yeah, fresh tires mean a whole lot around here. We saw that in the actual Xfinity Series race, and we saw it in the actual Cup race this weekend. Trucks, not so much, but those guys finished under the lights. So, you know, I think with this track being, I think they said there's going to be like a 5 o'clock start time here. That's the other thing, is your sight lines are going to be a little bit harder to see at this track as the sun's going down. And that also does mean that the grip is going to go up in the track. There you go right there. Case in point.
Yep, just jumped over to nighttime. Track temp is 81 degrees, ambient air 80 degrees, so should be good to go for a little while here. All 4 of our championship drivers are going to start towards the front. Looks like we do have like one other driver jumping into his ride, maybe 2 now, so get on down to the grid here. So Rupert Thompson going to start on the pole. Going to hope to end his race day there and with the championship. Chris Gilbert just to his outside. Another championship contender over from my neck of the woods from Colorado Springs there. Nicholas Snyder. And we got Samson Leonard. Eric Shear's not in his car yet. Clay Starton going to start to his outside in row 3. And right now, Reggie Packard is the last driver on the grid here. That looks like about it. Looks like everybody else is just jumped in for a few laps of practice here. But we are going to have a field right now, looks like, of 7 drivers going to take part here in the championship race here from Phoenix.
Unless these guys end up starting on pit road, but I didn't see really anybody waiting back there, so I don't know.
Sometimes it is one of those things that happens when you have a hosted race session. You have some guys jump in, being that it's about practice and stuff. And it looks like they're not wasting any time, as that pace truck is already turned in pit lane. But it is Phoenix. We have all the way down the backstretch to go.
Yeah, well, after they reconfigured it, they didn't decide to reconfigure pit road, so The entrance stayed the same. You got a long way before you end up hitting that Geico restart zone. And Rupert Thompson's about to jump on the loud pedal with Chris Gilbert to the outside. It's championship deciding race day, and we're green from Phoenix.
Rupert Thompson cuts that dog leg almost instantly. Nick Snyder stayed right behind him as they roll through, but Chris Gilbert hanging tough on that high line.
Yeah, right now Gilbert's trying to figure out what the car is going to do. He's actually using that high line to save a little bit of tire because trying to cut that bottom chews up that right front a lot around here. But he's staying in that the tire tracks of 39, so you know he's looking pretty strong early.
Yeah, and you saw after they first cut that dog leg, they all basically stayed relatively on track as they were coming through the dog leg that second time. They're single filed out.
And that means they're going to end up logging laps, get to lap 25, get the fresh set of stickers on here. I'm going to tell you, I've run this track a lot in the Xfinity Series car. I actually got my first Xfinity Series pole here earlier this year. That glare that these guys are running into right now is brutal. So you really got to have to adjust your eye line a little bit, you know, until the sun fully goes down, because you can see the reflection off the dashboard right now. Just wait until they actually get down the back straightaway. It is ugly. Right there, you can see it just start, and it's brutal right in your vision right there.
Yeah, and then especially when you come down that back straightaway and you have to kind of, you know, slow down to make that corner.
Yeah, that's going to be bugging these guys early on here today. I think probably after the first stage, you know, that sun's going to be starting to go behind the grandstands a little bit, and it should be okay the rest of the race, but early on, you're going to be struggling for, you know, sight. I'll tell you right now, the other thing I'm noticing is, you know, you're not shifting with these cars as much as you would see with, like, the trucks or the Cup cars. But that's got to be probably the gearing these guys are running right now. You know, once the tires age a little bit more, we'll probably hear them downshift, especially into 1 and 2. So that's the other thing, is you got to make sure you don't end up hopping the rear end when you downshift, because that's a quick way to cost you a championship.
Yeah, it definitely is. As we're taking a look here at Chris Gilbert, went and jumped on and took a look at the point standings here that they have in season stats. Chris Gilbert has 13 starts, 1 pole, 2 wins, 6 top 5s, and 11 top 10s.
There's a lot of consistency for you right there with the top 10s. Only 2 finishes outside of it. There's a reason he's currently battling for a championship, and that's a big one.
Yeah, the 4 guys that have showed up every week are the drivers here that are battling for that championship. And Nick Snyder has showed out as he has started all 15 races, or 15, looks like they've ran 16 races, all 15 of his races, though, he's been inside the top 10, 13 top 5s, but only 1 win after having 6 poles.
Well, that just tells me, you know, the 1 lap speed in that car is, you know, vital, but apparently just getting the long-term speed, or, you know, just not exactly there for that HendrickCars.com Chevrolet.
Now, 1, 2, 3 at the start, and they are still 1, 2, 3 as they run around the track now, 10 laps in.
Oh, all 4 championship guys are up there. Eric Shear's currently kind of lurking in 4th right now.
And we got Samson Leonard back here, who jumped in late. Reggie Packard, also a late addition, and Clay Starton back there as well.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. This isn't good. Don't tell me the issues the monkeys had in the truck over when Alan and I were trying to deal with Gateway have crossed over.
Yeah, not sure what just happened. Give me 1 second here.
Seven laps to the break.
All right, we are back here live. Not sure why iRacing decided to say see you later, but didn't miss much of anything here as Rupert Thompson and Chris Gilbert are still 1-2. Nicholas Snyder closing in on P2 now as he dives to the inside of that dogleg.
Oh, let's be real about it. Vince Russo invaded the truck and started hitting buttons again.
Yeah, I have no idea. Stay live on YouTube, but apparently can't stay live with.
Yeah, like I said, Vince
iRacing.
Russo ran in and started hitting buttons again and screwed everything up. We're going to have to lock the doors. When anything goes wrong, just blame Vince Russo. It's the easiest thing we can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, looks like Eric Shear kind of fell off from the gap here. But again, it's early enough. Get the tires on this thing, get that restart, and You know, you got a little bit of a notebook early on for what the car is doing and what you need it to do, and make that small little adjustment and just start clicking laps off again. Maybe this time he'll be able to hang with these guys.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's seeing what it'll do. Maybe he's thinking he won't pit there and just try and make it to, say lap 50 or something. But I don't know why. I don't know why you would do that, but
Well, to win a championship, sometimes you need to go off strategy, and that could be what he does. But again, the only thing is everyone else behind him would be on fresh tires, and he'd get gobbled up pretty quick. So is it worth taking that strategy right now, or do you save that strategy for the second half of the race?
Yeah, I think you try and decide what you're going to do in the second half. I mean, the first half, log some laps. Caution's going to come out next time by. I do believe they'll wave it right on when we switch to lap 25. So no stage points really matter here as they're all just battling for a championship.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if anyone tries to make a move now, or if we just end up staying single file with the front three like it is, and I think that's what's going to happen.
We'll see if they wave it here. Yep. Okay. Just like I thought, right when you cross the line on that start-finish line there. So they're going to be under caution here for the stage break. Log a few laps here, but
yeah, let everybody cycle through, catch up to the pace truck, don't spin it on the pit road like what happened Sunday. Everything will be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I still cannot believe that happened.
Have you seen the TikTok where they basically splice Days of Thunder telling Cole Trickle to go hit the pace car with the number 9 on the side?
I have seen that, and I have not stopped laughing. Believe me. I mean, that's the only thing that kept him from being perfect. So anything else, he would have actually been perfect on Sunday.
Yeah.
My question is, how do you get a front-wheel drive car that loose?
I have no idea.
I mean, he could. I haven't been able to wrap my head around it. Like, wow.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is if Chase actually did touch his bumper. Like,
yeah,
that's it.
I mean, I didn't see any blue paint on the back end of that car when they showed pictures afterwards. So I don't know if Chase actually got him, or if the contact, if there was any, was minor enough to just loosen him up, because I didn't really see any damage on the back of the car except for where he caught the sand barrels.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing I kind of saw. But, it's just one of those things like, okay, of course you spin out in front of the 9.
Yeah, that's all they need. That's all. That's the entire luck that 9 car had this season, was even the pace car don't like you.
I do think it's kind of funny that everybody now is trying to talk about how bad the playoff system is.
Well, when you have a driver who normally would have been 14th in points win a championship, there's something flawed here.
Yeah.
But yet again, NASCAR won't admit to it because they're too stubborn. And, well, I could go into it, but I'm not on the morning show. So, frankly, I've already spoke my piece about it, a day or so ago. Oh, it's still ridiculous. But, hey, we got a restart coming.
These drivers are going to crank it up a little bit. Eric Shearer got passed by a few drivers there as he spent, I'd say it looked like he spent extra time in the pit, but he really didn't. Not sure what happened there.
It could have been a speeding penalty because it looks like it's an EOL. He's only got one car. He's got another car behind him, so it could have been a double EOL, but we're back racing.
Yeah, that is Chris Gilbert back there. So both championship contenders wind up back at the back of the field. Gilbert gets a good jump on Snyder. Then you have Samson, Leonard, Clay starting, and then Eric Shear back here.
Yeah, that just now means that those two are going to have a little bit of a harder time getting up through things, because even though it's a light field here tonight, everyone's relatively close on speed. So I say that as the 62 ends up clipping the outside wall there. It's going to be a matter of where you're able to catch these guys and how good you're able to get around them. Right now, Eric and Gilbert cannot be back here too long, because Rupert and Snyder are going to drive away from them. And right now, you know, they're just now making their way around Clay in the 19. So they need to make a lot of headway and do it quick.
Yeah, Eric Shear's driving the wheels off of that 22 amped machine here.
Yeah, driving to the point where he just about broke his tail end on that one.
Well, we saw it quite a bit. Him like coming out of, we'll call it turn 3 there.
Yeah. Technically, you got the dog leg, that's 1, and then you got what's known as 1 and 2, really 2 and 3, which would make 3 and 4 more like 4 and 5. And then this turns into a convoluted conversation about, well, is this a lot like what Nazareth is? Because I swear Nazareth has like 9 turns.
Yeah, we had a race at Concord the other night, and I was looking through. I'm like, oh well, there's 3 turns. Well, iRacing says that it has 5, but it's basically like a small Pocono.
Yeah, I never figured out Concord. I don't have a whole lot of success there, no matter what I'm driving. But there's a lot of times I'd rather not talk about that track because I've got bad memories. Just like how Eldora owes me quite a bit in the trucks, but that's another story for another day. Speaking of another story, not surprising, Rupert Thompson's been able to hang out front the entire way so far, and he's doing everything he's got to do to win the championship. Out front in front of everybody. But it's still early enough where could he possibly be using his stuff up too early?
I think it depends on what that initial 25 laps taught him. I mean, if it taught him that his tires were fine at the way he was driving it, I mean, maybe he goes and splits the second stage here almost in half, goes 35 laps or so, and comes down and, takes the other 35.
True. I mean, he's only really 2-3 tenths off of his fastest lap currently, so it's not, I guess he's really not busting that car all that much.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
I mean, his best lap is currently a 27:31. He just got done running as they get across the start-finish line here. 27:60, so he's only literally 3 tenths off of his fastest lap. And that obviously set on the fresh tires, so it doesn't seem like that car is really hurting much right now as the track is starting to get lit up.
Yeah, as you see those lights start to come on. Chris Gilbert hasn't been able to get by the 62 Ford of Samson Leonard here. He's still just hanging out. Eric Shearer, though, is starting to feel a little bit more pressure coming from behind him, and Clay starting in that 19 machine.
Battle the energy drink wagons here. I don't care what format it's on. That green and white amp paint job is always going to look good on a car.
Yeah, I have to agree.
As the 19 went up and just about kissed the wall there, as we got somebody in the back. Who was that?
Reggie Packard.
Packard ended up kissing the fence here. And that's something else right there. That's a throwback to Kenseth's 2002 paint job. So I'm really digging that too.
Yeah, the custom number where you move it back to the door where it belongs.
You're not wrong.
It looks like
Yeah.
you got to keep it there, so you have to run that in the Xfinity. You have to.
Yeah, you do. You do. I mean, I'm sorry, but even when some of the biggest names in the sport say, why did you move it? You know you did something wrong.
Yeah.
Mark Martin, anybody? But yet again, he ran a number big enough that basically took up the entire door to begin with. You see the size of the 6 he ran in the 90s?
Oh, yeah.
That literally took up the entire door the way it was slanted. It was literally from A post to B post diagonally. Where else could they move it?
I wonder if they would have considered that legal. You know, it kind of covers up the same area almost.
You know, that's actually a thought that could be debated. Damn it, you just blew my mind. Oh, we're only about 40 laps in and my mind gets blown in a race. Go figure.
Yeah. Getting close to that halfway mark. Brought the dashboard up here to see how Snyder's getting around the track. If he does do that downshift. Or if he's, yep, he does.
Yeah, the tires are already wearing out a little bit because these guys are starting to hit 28-second lap times. So
Let's
now,
jump to Thompson, see what he does too.
just the way he's getting off that corner, I can tell he's got something torqued up. So I'm thinking he is shifting more. Right there, you can kind of hear the, the blip of the throttle.
Yeah, he definitely blipped it, but dashboard didn't say that he shifted down, but he definitely dropped from like 130 to almost like 105 pretty quick there.
Yeah. I mean, the only way to really do that is if he's actually clutching it to save fuel, but that would be an interesting strategy to have at this point. I mean, obviously your tire is going to be too far worn out. I don't think anyone's going to try to extend the fuel window. So, why try to save fuel unless, you're trying to make it. Could we actually possibly see a two-tire stop here tonight? Again, strategy that could be. Chess game is going to be fun tonight.
I don't know that we need necessarily to see that. I mean, you're taking, 5 or 6 seconds off of your pit stop is about what you're going to wind up taking off. So, I mean, maybe if we see some green flag pit stops.
Yeah, because you only need about 5 or 6 seconds of fuel dropped into the car, because if you run this out to, say, lap, I want to say 80 to 90, you're only going to need a little bit to get through. But if you're chopping this up to come in probably the next 20 laps, you're better off going with 4.
Looks like Chris Gilbert has finally had enough of this Mountain Dew machine in front of him. Just can't quite get by, though, as he gets loose, slides up behind him.
Yeah, and unfortunately, fighting here with a 62 is just going to eat those tires up, and that's going to let those top 2 cars get away even further, and that's not what he needs right now. And it seems like everybody's now cutting the dog leg, which was a lot different than what we saw in the first part of this race, where everyone basically tried to stay above the track. Now everyone is literally cutting the dog leg. So it's going to be interesting if that keeps up, as here he goes on the inside again. Can he make it stick? Go. Yeah, he's clear.
Oh, clear in the 62 there. Might have got a little loose into that outside wall, but no harm, no real foul there as Chris Gilbert got by and is going to try and close in here on the race leaders.
Yeah, he just put a little bit of the Mountain Dew sponsorship on the wall. No big deal. Blue wall needs a little bit of red and green on it. You know, seeing this track in this configuration, I grew up with it where that back straightaway had such a huge opening for traffic. It was, well, everyone knows the opening that Worldwide Technology Raceway has on the back straightaway. Triple that, and that's the opening that Phoenix had.
Wow.
Right there. That was basically how big the opening was. And you didn't get to the wall to basically out of the dog leg. So that to have NASCAR race at the Phoenix in its original configuration, to me, is still mind-blowing in a way.
Yeah, most of the races we call are in this current configuration. I had the pleasure on Monday night for the SCL Cup Series to call one at Legacy, and there is a ton of grass that they removed to get to this configuration too.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of banking they added in 3 and 4. And
Yep.
mind you, that this is the Legacy version that's on the service now is the second configuration
Yeah.
that they had, because it was, I think, late 90s, early 2000s that they actually put that wall together on the back straightaway. So, like I said, I grew up 80s and 90s NASCAR where so much of the back of this track was open, basically. So weird thing about the Legacy Edition is I actually, when I've actually driven, whether it's a street stock or, you know, the 87s there, I actually do kiss the curb on the back of the dogleg, getting it close to the grass. So I actually do run that when I drive here.
Yeah,
Somehow,
the next gen cars do not like it. They tend to catch air when you catch that.
yeah, that's the thing. You got to be careful about it, or else you're really going to upset the car doing it. So, you know, being that I do know a little bit of road course racing as well, I know just how much to let the car float into that section.
We have Clay starting in the pit lane, so see what he's doing here. Looks like he made it to his pit box. He is done with service, spent 14 seconds in his box.
Well, that could be the start of the domino effect here. He might be trying to go the rest of the way on tires and fuel. I mean, it could be doable from here to actually be able to get to the finish. So Clay might start bringing everybody down.
Yeah, if you're Nicholas Snyder or Chris Gilbert, you've got to figure out or try and guess what Rupert Thompson's going to do. Because whatever he does, you're going to have to do the opposite. He has just been driving lights out. I mean, he has almost a little over 3/4 of a second lead, and it seems to be getting bigger almost with every lap for a few laps there.
Yeah, I think it's just he's been easing it. He's been backing up his corners, especially there in 1 and 2. And it doesn't seem like he's trying to force the car to have that tight arc because, well, the term everyone's going to use is diamonding the corner, and that's what it seems like he's doing. He's getting into it about half a lane up and then just kind of letting the car eat going down into the middle of the corner and then just swing it out coming out. So he's really taking it easy on the tires doing that, and he's able to keep a whole lot of speed doing it too. So right there, now he shuts me up because I'm going to do something different now.
Yeah, that tends to happen when broadcasters are talking for some reason. All of these drivers,
too
though,
often.
are a second off of their pace right now.
Yeah, that's just the way these tires are, because while this is the new configuration of Phoenix, they've been running this for a while, and this track is set to the point where it is going to start to grate the tires a little bit more and more to where you're, you know, Satin, he came in a couple laps ago, and he's running 27.6s, while Rupert and Nicholas are running 28.3s. So do the math, it's about a half a second difference. So that tells you how big tires are going to be here.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it earlier. You know, didn't seem like it fell off quite so much in the first part of the run, but after that initial 25 laps under green, the second run seems like the last, I'm going to say, 5 or 6 laps, they've been really starting to fall off.
Well, the big thing is the track has changed into nighttime, and that's why the track will pick up more grip, and you're using a lot more tires to get that grip. As you see the flames coming out the exhaust of both the 39 and the HendrickCars.com 2 car, yeah, they're downshifting more now.
Yeah, they're definitely backing up those corners, trying to roll through.
And it looks like Snyder's actually picking up a little bit here.
He was almost a 10th quicker that time by.
And there we go. There we go. Thompson's on pit road. Now Nicholas cannot be far behind. He cannot give up a whole lot of track time to Thompson, because if he does, that's going to be the championship. He's got to come in either this time or next time.
Yeah, he has to. I mean, he almost has to come in this time.
And he doesn't. Let's see. Rupert's going to come out, it looks like 6th, obviously. And it looks like Snyder's going to have about a lap plus. I think it's going to be looking at a 28-second window total between him and Rupert by the time Nicholas decides to pit. So,
yeah,
is that going to be big enough to come out ahead of him, or is he going to try to extend this gap just a little bit more?
I don't know that he's actually going to extend it. He might be able to maintain it.
Well, he can't be overdriving 1 and 2 like he's doing, I'll tell you that much.
No, right now, the gap is decreasing. Nicholas Snyder to Rupert Thompson is 37 seconds. So, and
Yeah,
most of these drivers' pit lane time is 57.
Yeah, that's that's pretty rough. And Rupert Thompson's clicking in at a 27:36. Nicholas Snyder's at a 28:47 or 44. That's yeah. Now, if you're the other two in the championship hunt, if you're Chris Gilbert and Eric Shearer, when do you come down pit road?
I hope you can make it to the end. But I don't know. He's closing at least almost a second a lap. And there's over 28 laps, so it's probably not going to matter.
27:42 to a 28:43. Thompson to Snyder. Gilbert and Eric Shearer are north of 28 seconds themselves. He's going to unlap himself, and he's going to have plenty of time to drive back up to the front. So these guys, if they're smart, they'll come down. They will come down pit road either now or in the next 1 or 2 laps, because they're going to give up way too much time. I mean, this is getting to the point where if I was watching my relative right now, I'd be like, I got to come down.
Yeah, you're going to have to. Yep, Eric Shearer down pit lane.
Yeah, he knew he was going to be giving up too much.
I mean, the only thing you can hope by staying out a little bit longer is that when the fall off happens to Rupert Thompson at the end of the run, you're still going to be going faster.
Well, there's Nicholas Snyder coming down pit road now.
Yeah,
and
Chris
he
Gilbert
drags
as well.
he drags Gilbert with him. Now, where are they going to cycle out in relation to Rupert Thompson? Because it's 31 seconds right now.
Well, Thompson is already ahead of Eric Shearer.
And Thompson is about to get past both Snyder and Gilbert because they're still sitting on pit road.
Yeah, that's the problem with how long this pit road is. If you go down pit road, you lose a minute. Like,
yeah, you do. You really do. All right, Snyder's going to be out about 7 or 8 seconds, give or take. No, even more now. Packard's on pit road. Yeah, Snyder's going to be about 8 seconds behind Thompson. Did he stay out long enough to have the good in those tires make up that difference? That's going to be the biggest question right now.
yeah, that is going to be the biggest question. Is it going to be enough to matter late in the race? It's not so much now because, Rupert Thompson and Snyder are going to be running relatively the same lap times. They were doing it earlier. I'm sure they'll continue to do it. But when Thompson's gets to that 30 lap mark, is that going to be enough time for Nicholas Snyder on these 10 lap newer tires to matter?
Rupert Thompson 27.70, Nicholas Snyder 27.52. I don't know if 0.2 of a second a lap is going to be enough.
That's why I was saying it's going to have to be on the tail end of this run.
Yeah, that's where he's going to have to make it up, as they say in drag racing, is on the big end of the speedway. He's going to have to make it up on the big end of this run. And the fact is, we're not going 100 laps, it's 101. Could that last lap be the biggest difference in a championship?
Looks like he got a little loose trying to get more speed out of that number 2 machine.
He still picked up 0.3.
Yep.
So now the gap is going to be under 7 seconds by the time he gets back around again. So chipping away at it with 25 laps, it's going to be close. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's going to be real close. But he's got to execute every single lap to get it there.
Yeah, he's going to have to. He's got no real pressure from behind, as Chris Gilbert is almost 3.5 seconds back. Eric Shearer is mired back here in 6th position here.
Yeah. Those guys are going to just have to hope for a caution to happen to make up the difference where they're at right now. Now, Nicholas just took off another 0.3 of a second. Oh, I'm getting a little nervous about this one.
Oh, 19 in pit lane. Or all to the night.
That's intriguing.
I saw him just start dropping off the screen, and
yeah,
that would be why.
Yeah, probably realized he had nothing else he could probably gain out of it. And, I mean, the battle is going to be these front 4 anyway, as Eric finally gets around to 62.
And 62's been battling all night.
Yep. And that's another 3/10 Nicholas has taken off in the last lap here. So he's doing his best to get there. But now he's also got to deal with the lap traffic of the 29 car. Or excuse me, yeah, the 29 of Reggie Packard. That the no bull numbers kind of blended in for a second there. Yes, I'm old enough to remember the no bull series. That says a lot as Reggie gets out of the way and lets him go.
Yeah, I'm sure Reggie's just going to roll around here, not battle too much here.
Nope. Oh, that's not going to help Nicholas kissing the wall like that.
No.
He still took another 3/10 off. He's trimming this down to right around 5 1/4. Now, I know these Xfinity Series bodies are resilient, but that was a pretty solid shot.
Down almost to under 5 seconds now.
Yeah, he's going to try to get there, but he could be running low on time because we're about literally to hit, well, we're under 20 to go now.
Yep, 18 to go this time.
This race has actually flown. All right, now put yourself in position with this 39 car second. You're battling for a championship. You know that you're got to hold on for 17 more laps. You know your competition's on fresh tires. What are you doing behind the wheel that's going to try to keep you out front?
I think you're going to try and preserve the tires and hope that that tire fall off will start to equalize and you'll have just enough there to get to the finish line.
I'm telling you right now, the one thing I'm noticing is he's not shifting. And to your point, that's saving the rear tires because he's not coming off the corner buzzing them. The only time I hear the car on the rev limiter or anything really weird out of it is when he's bouncing it off the track right here. That little bounce, bang, bang, bang. And then he's right on it, so he's got a tall enough gear in this car, but he's not shifting. Meanwhile, it's now under 4 seconds. Right there, you hear the 5 shifting.
Yep, the 5 is definitely
in the middle of the corner. In the middle of the corner, he's dropping it down into third. You actually heard that hit, so he is doing everything he can. But is he doing enough to use his equipment up and not have anything in case the 39 decides to fight?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. If I'm the 39, I'm trying to save something for when or if Snyder catches me. If I'm the 5 or the 2, I want to try and get there without using up all of my stuff so I have something to get by.
Still 0.2 of a second he picked up, so he's going to be knocking on that door, but it seems like the pace of getting there has slowed down a little bit for him.
Yeah. Like I said, that's what Rupert Thompson is hoping for, is that tire fall off to equalize.
Yeah, and it's starting to 28.08 for Snyder, 28.25 for Rupert. It's starting to get there.
Gilbert and Shearer are almost out of it as they are running basically similar lap times to Snyder at the moment.
Yeah, Snyder just picked up another 2/10. It's now under 3 seconds. But he's coming back to 10 to go. I don't know, man. This pickup is not going to be enough, I don't think. He is really washing that car high on the entry. I'm surprised he hasn't knocked the wall down more.
Yeah, that's true.
Nine to go, 2.5 seconds, and yeah, it's falling back to 0.2 of a second now. For the longest time, he was picking up 3 to 3.5 tenths. Now it's down to 0.2 he's picking up. It's not going to be enough.
No, I don't think it is.
He's going to have to hope for a caution or something big to happen to Rupert to end up getting up there in time. I mean, he can see him. He knows he's getting there. And that was 1/4 of a second he picked up. So he needs to be able to hit that more often. But the problem is he's pushing the car too hard to do it.
Yeah.
And I know Thompson right now is looking in his rearview mirror like, I see him coming. I still got something saved in the tank just in case.
Yeah, 7 to go.
Under 2 seconds. Nicholas is going to have to drive these corners almost like qualifying laps, but I don't know if the tire is going to be able to take, the extensive wear of doing it like that. Oh, he is chipping that thing right now. 28.38 to a 28.08. He's back to 0.3.
Yeah, he can see him now.
Yeah, they're on the same straightaway, and they're going to be coming back to the fistful.
Yep, 5 to go. As they hit that cactus there and head off down the dogleg one more time.
Right there. Oh, yep, he's downshifting this thing even earlier than from before. He's trying to actually let the car loosen itself up so he can try to kind of throttle up out of the corner to straighten it out. He's just not doing it in 3 and 4. He's only doing it in 1 and 2.
I think 3 and 4 might be a little rough to keep that momentum going.
That was another near 0.3 of a second. 28.42 to a 28.19.
4 to go, almost under a second here gap between Rupert Thompson and Nicholas Snyder.
Oh, I'm starting to get that chill up my spine. We could be getting ready for some fireworks. Now, here's the thing. Once you get to them, how aggressive are you?
For a championship, I don't know.
Are you going to be willing to move him once you get there, or are you going to try to get by him clean to begin with?
I don't know that he's going to get there, though. It's going to be close.
Yeah, it'll be close, but if he does get there, what's the strategy? What type of strategy he's going to be able to use? Because he's going to be coming with a head of steam, and Thompson's got to be able to do something to either throw him off or just basically air block him, because we're going to be coming up, I believe, on the white flag this time by.
Yep, white flag will be in the air. Rupert Thompson will get it, but will he receive the checkers here? 1 lap to go from Phoenix.
It's down to 0.6 of a second. I don't know if there's going to be enough in it for that 2 car. Thompson's looking strong going through 1 and 2. I don't think Snyder's got enough in that thing. He's going to have to really send it in 3 and 4. Oh, he did.
He drove
It
it
ain't
in
enough.
deep, but it did not matter. Rupert Thompson is the winner.
Thompson
Wow.
wins the race and the championship from pole. That's how you make a statement to end the season. Wow. Snyder was 0.4 of a second short.
He sent it in and just couldn't quite have enough to get it done there.
No, and I think what happened was he used up too much tire early, and he just didn't have the grip when he needed it the most at the end. As Rupert Thompson, from pole to checker and a championship, lights it up here underneath the Phoenix night sky. Dominating fashion for the win here tonight.
Everybody has exited the track.
Yep.
Don't see him in Discord, but
Race room 39, I see him. Channel underneath us.
39.
Yeah, that was the car he
Kenny
was running.
Thompson. Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. We'll start with third real quick. It'll be Chris Gilbert. To be
Hey, Chris, it's Shane and Mike up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you. Yes.
Well, that was definitely that. What were you able to do in this race to try to get to the championship? Because it just seemed like everyone was, behind the 39 just all night long.
Yeah, he was really good tonight. I mean, early in the race, I noticed if I got close enough to him, I could kind of pressure him. He'd start slipping up a little bit, and I don't know, I feel like I was being too nice and kind of gave up a couple chances to get by him. Hindsight, I probably should have pushed him, but no, he was good. He was real good tonight.
Yeah, he was definitely, I believe, the car of the night here, and he was showing it early enough and often enough. What did you need to try to actually get up there towards the end? Because once this race strung out, it just looked like, everybody was pretty much holding station the entire way.
Well, not getting a speeding penalty would have helped a lot. That kind of killed me. But other than that, yeah, yellow. I mean, me, Nick, and Rupert were running basically the same lap times. Every once in a while, I'd go on a string where somebody'd gain on another, but that's about it.
Yeah, you guys are definitely the head of the field here tonight, and we noticed that speeding penalty early. Was that the game changer for you?
Yeah, I feel like it. I mean, it was just barely over, but it was enough. Penalty's penalty.
What is it Mikey used to say? It doesn't matter if it's a 10th, you're still going to get nabbed.
Yep.
Well, before we let you get out of here to celebrate the P3 finish in the championship and in the race, who do you got to thank that helps you get it done in that hot rod here tonight?
Now I gotta thank Eric for putting on this league. Been part of it for a while. It's been awesome. And then my teammates, Jordan, Brad, Nick, Kyle when he shows up. They've all helped out a lot, so I appreciate them all.
All right, man. Well, we'll see you next season. Go celebrate the podium finish here tonight and have some fun with it.
All right, thank you.
all right. Let's get. Hey, Nicholas, Mike up in the booth, man. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. How about you guys?
Oh, not too bad. Looked like you were trying everything in the book to catch Rupert there. Just not quite enough time. How was it racing here at Phoenix tonight?
It was different than what I'm used to. Um, you know, I think I stayed up 9 or 10 laps longer than Rupert, and I kind of figured he would probably have about a 9 second lead over me, and it was only 7. Um, I just figured I with 10 lap fresher tires, I might be able to just drive up right to his bumper, and he did a phenomenal job of just managing his tires while I was still running long. Yeah, just came up short. Probably stayed up 2 laps too long.
Yeah, you had to do something different. I mean, because Rupert was driving lights out. You guys came in after that first stage pretty well even, and we all knew that it was going to be whatever pit strategy came to fruition there at that on that second stage. But I mean, other than that, was there anything else you think you could have done to try and bring home this championship tonight?
Yeah, there's a lot of things I could have done different from the cockpit and stuff. I was on a short pit, and then Rupert took that idea, so that's why I just decided to stay out longer. Just it started off with qualifying. I messed up my laps bad. Um, but yeah, that first stage, we were all pretty much bunched together. It's just the dirty air is not nice. I couldn't enter the way I wanted to, and it was the same thing when I was behind Rupert. I tried a different line, didn't work. I just felt like I ate up my tires when I tried different lines. When I was behind him, and um, Rupert was running the line that I won, and that's kind of the preferred line here. So it just makes you kind of search around, and unfortunately, sometimes it bites you.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, congrats on your P2 finish. Anybody want to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
I'd just like to thank for everybody that took the time to watch this race. Hopefully it was a good race from the booth. You got to thank Eric for putting on the league all year and dealing with all of us racers. Sometimes we're not the happiest or the nicest. And then my teammates Jordan, Brad, Kyle, and Chris. For you know when they show up, they just make us drive a lot harder because any 5 of us could win, and it just depends on what track we're at. One or another is better.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats once again, and look forward to talking to you maybe next season.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let you talk to Rupert here. Let me get him up in the booth for you.
Hey, champ, it's Shane and Mike up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, you talk about putting a stamp on a season, man. Start to finish domination. How much were you saving that final run just in case Nicholas was able to get to you?
Yeah, I wasn't saving much because I knew, watching how quick he was catching me and doing the math in my head, I knew it was gonna be close. So pretty much that last entire run there, I was giving it everything it had, try to stay in front of Nick. I honestly didn't think I was gonna be able to hold him off.
Yeah, it looked like the pit stop you had with, I believe, splitting the segment up was definitely going to be the key for you to end up getting here tonight to celebrate this win. And it definitely paid off. As strong as you were in qualifying, did you think that you'd be able to keep it up front as long as you did this race?
I didn't think I be able to keep it up front as much as I did. Usually Nick and Chris, both those guys are really good on the long run, and it's hard to hold them off on the long run. But I don't know. I felt like short pitting in that second stage was the better strategy for me, I guess. And I don't know. It looks like it worked out all right.
Well, it worked out better than all right. You're hoisting the trophy here tonight, and there's 2 of them there for you. So before we let you get out of here to celebrate the race win and the championship, anybody you want to thank that helps you get done on that 39 car?
Yeah, I just got to thank my family, everybody that supports me, and sponsors KRM Motorsports, Premier Seal Coating, and Fuller Machine.
All right, man. We'll celebrate this championship win, and we'll see you next season.
Thank you.
Well, talk about talk about a dominating run from start to finish there for Rupert. And, you know, you got to feel for Nicholas a little bit because, as he said, just a couple of laps short on the strategy play.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as you saw that Rupert came in, you knew somebody was going to have to do something different. You couldn't just basically play follow the leader and hope that somebody was going to make a mistake. That's pretty much all you were left with there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is what it is. You try and do what you can to bring home a victory. I mean, 4 guys battling for the championship, and they finish 1st through 4th.
Yeah, that just shows why they were the top 4 in points here. And, you know, Rupert, like again, started on pole and dominated this race outside of that one pit stop cycle during green. And then once that cycled back out, he checked out enough to be able to hold Nicholas off at the end.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it went. You know, quick race results. Rupert Thompson, Nicholas Snyder, Chris Gilbert, Eric Scheer, 1, 2, 3, 4, the championship contenders finished that way. Sam Leonard, Reggie Packard, and Clay Starton are the drivers who took part in the race. But we will let them close down the race here. We will see these guys, I believe, on Tuesday for their championship in the trucks on Tuesday. So they'll be Cup Series on Tuesday. So the Cup Series on Tuesday. So they'll be back on Sim Racing Media then. I mean, other than that, it's been another wonderful night here, hanging out in the broadcast booth with you, Shane.
Hey, I love championship deciding races, and this one could have swung a different way if it was, once again, a strategy battle played differently. And one strategy didn't work out, and short pitting did for Rupert, and he's the one hoisting the trophy.
Yeah, definitely. But with that being said, from all the drivers of the GUNR4sR Xfinity series and all of us here at Sim Racing Media, I want to wish you guys a good night. We'll see you next time.
Until we meet again, everyone, take care.